Oh no. I tried to make a peace with them. A piece of what? Were you making a piece of cake? I told that my friend is drunk and I apologized for him. Right away, it took me about 10 seconds to get that I have been stabbed with a knife. Welcome back to Psyched Substance. In today's episode, what we are going to do is some more of your viewer trip reports. We're going to visit the Psyched Substance subreddit and we're going to see which trip report that you guys submitted has the most upvotes, and I am simply going to read off and react to the highest voted one. So here we are at the r/Psyched Substance subreddit. We have a whopping 5.7 thousand psychonauts, and apparently 30 of them are tripping right now. Holy balls. 31 upvotes. We got 20G Golden Teacher Trip Report. Let's see if we can do better. We got 88 upvotes. Mr. Psyched Substance, where did you get this glorious t-shirt from? Oh, it's the t-shirt from my podcast with Derek from moreplatesmoredates.com. Check out Derek's channel for him posting endless effing clips of the podcast. Yes, I'll probably post the full podcast on my channel once all of the clips are out. To answer your question, that t-shirt was purchased from a Guess outlet store. 7 upvotes. We got my first DMT breakthrough, which subsequently led me to realizing my sexuality. Well, that's fascinating, isn't it? 59 upvotes. Here we go. Now we're talking. We've got stabbed and nearly died while tripping on 25 NBOMe in Russia. So essentially, he's tripping on fake acid. At least it's usually sold as fake acid. That's what I think of when I see that. Now we got with 4 upvotes, 3.5G, first time shrimp, blah 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 blah. Muscle memory, traveling through the universe. Some of these are good. Like, I listen, I'm going to actually read some of these and choose ones that I find interesting. I'm not just going to go based off upvotes. All you guys who don't have that many upvotes, it doesn't mean that your story is going to go unheard. But for this video, let's just go do with what I said, and we're going to read the Russian preacher's trip report of getting stabbed and nearly dying while tripping on fake acid in Russia. Oh boy. Well, here we go. We got, "Hi guys, I'm sorry in advance for any mistakes. English is not my native. My story takes place in the middle of Russia, in Siberia. My friends invited me to a free open-air rock show in the woods, and my first thought was, damn, this accent's not Russian at all. I can't do Russian. Damn, it sounds like a perfect trip. So I decided to take some drugs with me. Here in Russia, it's not so easy to get shrooms or LSD, and only once that I has MBOMe, which is not that bad actually." Yeah, you would think that, but no, NBOMe is quite different from LSD, my friend. Quite different, beyond being much more dangerous, and the main culprit for accidental acid deaths, meaning the person thought they were taking acid, they actually took NBOMe, and it resulted in killing them. So when people talk about having fake tabs, this is what they mean. They mean any of the NBOMe compounds. Could be 25I NBOMe, 25B NBOMe, 25C NBOMe. There's an array of them, but the most commonly sold one is 25I. Holy Moses, he took 2,000. He says, "I took about 2,000 micrograms of 25I and went to the show." So that's like, some tabs can be as low as 500 micrograms. Keep in mind, NBOMe is dosed differently. So the average tab would be 1,000 micrograms, which you could just say is a milligram. So this guy took 2 milligrams of it, and people have actually died with as little as 1 milligram. It's one of those things where it affects people so differently, even in the regular dose. That's why I think it's so dangerous, is because the effects are very unexpected. On the flip side of that, people have safely taken 5,000 micrograms and up. I don't want to give you guys any bad ideas, but people have dosed quite highly with it and been perfectly fine. So it really is up to the individual if you're going to react poorly to it or not. I would just say it's not worth the risk. There's also a whole lot of vasoconstriction associated with its use, meaning your blood vessels tighten, and it gives the feeling where, like, not just your limbs get tingly, but they actually start to hurt, which I've had on other compounds. It's all in all just not a safe drug to do, and if you compared it side by side to LSD, it's lacking that mystical component. Like, yeah, you're going to trip out. It's related to this 2C compound of drugs. Let's take a look at the molecule here, just to give you guys a little bit of an overview. So if you look at the molecule here, you've got on this side basically 2CI, which is one of the drugs that was invented by Alexander Shulgin, related to 2CB. Here it says a common dose of the hydrochloride salt is 600 to 1200 micrograms. Sounds about right. Effects last 6 to 10 hours. Oh, and here's what I forgot. What's interesting about 25i is it's only active sublingually, meaning you have to let it dissolve under your tongue. If you swallow the tab, your stomach acid's going to destroy that thing. Now, the reason why dealers sell 25i disguised as LSD is because it's remarkably cheap. And then they go and sell it as acid, and they sell each tab for $5 to $10, usually $10 or more. In New Zealand, they would sell tabs of NBOMe disguised as acid for $50. That's insane. Absolutely mind-boggling, crazy. They're making a killing off this fake acid, and they're literally killing off the fake acid. I hope you guys see just how important it is to always test your tabs. Link to a Ehrlich reagent kit below. You cut a little piece of the corner, you test it, and if it turns purple, then you got the presence of an indole, and if it doesn't turn purple, then it could be this thing. But anyway, you can see this is the main 2C component, and then over here, we've got the added ring. Let's bring up 2CI on its own so you can see the difference. So here's 2CI, which is, the drug, the psychedelic phenethylamine that it's based off of. And then over here, we've got 25i NBOMe. The chemistry of these compounds is fascinating because 25i, you need much more of it. So it's interesting how making the molecule theoretically bigger ups its potency. 2CI on its own is, a light dose is 5 up to 20 milligrams for a common dose. So it's about 10 times more potent by making the molecule bigger. And it obviously changes its effects profile. It's not like it's just stronger. 25i NBOMe is generally going to cause a different kind of trip. It's probably more intense, but again, it's all dose dependent because if you took a big dose of 2CI, it's going to be real freaking intense, man. Anyway, that's enough of the safety bit. Let's jump back to the story. I know I went way off topic there. It's just important to me to keep you guys all safe so these videos have more, meaning and value beyond just entertainment. Anyway, he says, I took about 2,000 micrograms, took about 2 milligrams of 25i, and he went to the show. The show was great. I was really happy with my trip so far. The weather was nice. It was beginning of summer, beautiful woods, nice people, and really great music was out there. The air around me was full of love, youth, and joy. This guy's English isn't his first language, and he's trying to be a passionate writer. I love it. I had a really good time. Visuals was good. In my opinion, 25i visuals is more colorful and interesting than LSD. Anyway, I had a great time on that show, and I was really happy that night. I remember how I was thinking about life in general. I felt so alive in that moment. Everything was perfect. When show ended, I really wanted to go home, but my feet... When show ended, I really wanted to go home by my feet. By your feet. But my friends convinced me that it would be better if they drove me. Yeah, I mean, if it's a far walk, then if you went home by your feet could hurt. So I agreed and I got in the car. One of my friends was really drunk. Okay, no. You should have went home by your feet, man. Your friend is drunk. You got in your head, go home with drunk friend or go home by your feet. Go home by your feet! One of my friends was really drunk. And he had a fight with his girlfriend. So he's drunk and emotional? Dude, take the feet option. Their fight was really awful and everyone were hearing it. Oh man, that's going to kill a high too. You don't want to hear people fighting. It's going to stir up some emotional discomfort in you. And oh man, you don't want to be on those fake acid blotters while your friend is drunk, driving, fighting with his girlfriend. Recipe for disaster. And I guess it was a disaster because you got stabbed. Can you imagine getting stabbed on a tab of on a psychedelic? Shit. Now the air around me was full of anger. I love this guy's descriptions. He feels it in the air. The air is anger. At one point, my drunk friend got out of the car and walked away. His girlfriend asked me to get him back when I went to chase him. When I got him, let's see how far this, okay, it's not that long. When I got him, I tried to calm him down and asked to return to the car, but he was really angry at that moment. Bunch of gopniks, Russian hooligans are gopniks? Were standing near us and my friend started to shout at them. The gopniks came forward at us and everything started to look really bad. Oh no. I tried to make a peace with them. A piece of what? Were you making a piece of cake? I told that my friend is drunk and I apologized for him. Right away, it took me about 10 seconds to get that I have been stabbed with a knife. I felt something warm around my leg, and when I looked down, I saw the blood. It was everywhere. The fountain of my blood was hitting right of my leg. Jesus Christ, man. Oh, I feel for you. I was in shook. I'd be shook too. So was my friend. The fear had all of me. Oh man, the fear didn't just have a little piece of him. The fear had him all. He was totally got by that fear. The trip was getting really bad. All that I could think of was that I was dying. So was he? I'm confused. Was he? He was stabbed in the leg then? I'm not sure if he was stabbed in the leg or he felt the blood on his leg. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Finally, I started to scream for help. Ooh, but I couldn't. Oh no, it's like those dreams when you're like, ah. You ever have those dreams where you're just like so terrified you're screaming but nothing comes out? Oh boy, I had lost my voice. Oh, exactly. And it wasn't exactly how nightmare feels like. Oh, good. Thank you for clarifying. You stuck in one scary place and you could not get out of it. Yeah, my friend asked me to lay on the ground, but I was terrified by that idea. In my head, if I lay down, I'll die. But finally, he convinced me and somehow he gave me first aid. Like CPR? What kind of first aid, man? Some people called an ambulance. Police officers came by and started to ask me some questions. I started to shout at them because they failed their job. An innocent man got stabbed. But were the police in their defense? Were they there when you were getting stabbed? How does they fail their job? Are they just supposed to know a stabbing is going to happen? Like some kind of superhero spider sense tingling and they just, teleport and arrive there and stop it before they happen? Like we're in Minority Report? Wait, was that Minority Report? I don't know. One of those damn videos with Tom Cruise. Or was it Tom Cruise? Or Brad Pitt? Or maybe it was Hugh Jackman. I was feeling pretty frightened at that point. Blood was everywhere. A lot of people was around us. Some girls was crying. Oh, this is a scene out of a movie. It's like you've got those people that are just randomly crying and oh my gosh. I told my friends to say my mother that I love her. I was really afraid of death. As if that wouldn't be terrifying enough when you're sober, but you're tripping off some tabs of some fake acid and you're stabbed. I can't even fathom that. That's too much. Oh, when I got in the ambulance, doctor calmed me down. He said that everything is okay and I'm not going to die. If my arteria wasn't damaged. Oh, good. Good for your arteria. He really helped me to deal with it better. Then I got in the hospital in the operation room, and at first it looked like a typical operation for the doctor, but suddenly nurse made some scream like noise, and doctor took a long sad look at me. It occurred that arteria was damaged and I already lost a lot of blood. Oh shit. Operation room started to fill with doctors, nurses, and different medical equipment. At that time, I was even more terrified. I started repeat to myself, everything going to be okay. Good mantra, man, good mantra. Over and over. In my head, I already imagined a life without a leg. I prayed to God to took my leg and let me live. I was thinking about my parents, about that perfect day in the woods, about my future plans and everything in that moment at that hospital bed. Nothing in my life I can compare to that feeling, an absolute fear. At one time I asked a nurse, is everything going to be okay? And she took a deep breath and said, I hope so. Oh, come on, bro. No. What are nurses, just jackasses in Russia? At least in Canada and the States, they lie to you. You're like dying. Like you're actually a second away from your heart stopping. They're like, wow, this is just in. You're going to live. You're going to make it. Everything's going to be okay, man. It's like they look at the wound and you've been shot 8 times and there's just blood like squirting like a real water fountain out of you. And they look at your face like, it's not so bad. I've seen worse. You'll be fine. And you actually just die the next second. That's how doctors are here. They lie to your face. You can't trust them. At least in Russia, she's honest. But like, I don't know if like, did she really, man? Like she takes a deep breath and says, I hope so. Like the nurse would say that to you. Sure. You weren't just tripping, dog. And that's that. Couple more minutes that felt like more hours. Oh, sorry. Couple more minutes that felt more like an hours. And I had shot of morphine. Oh boy, I've had that morphine. That's some good shit. After that, I've been gone to sleep. 3 hours later, I awoke in intensive care with bunch of pipes and stuff in my body. That's gotta be fun. A nurse that told me that she hoped so looked at me and gave me a smile. Everything was good. I spent a month at the hospital with my leg in a cast, had a lot of time to think about my life, how fragile it can be. One moment could ruin everything, and not only for you, but for your close ones too. It was an interesting experience after all, and I'm glad that it happened. You're glad that you got stabbed on fake acid? At least I have a good story to tell. Well, yeah, and I mean, you got featured on Psych Substance, baby. Thank you for reading. Peace. Everything gonna be okay. Fuck yeah, man. Yeah, Mister. What's his name? The Russian preacher. Preach, baby, preach. It's all gonna be good. Thank you for your story. What do I have to comment? I mean, first of all, I don't like that he prefers fake acid to real acid, it sounds like. Definitely don't take fake acid, or in other words 25I or any of the 25X and Bumi compounds, because like I said, they can be very dangerous for the wrong individual. Or if you're going to take one anyway, start very, very low. Like I'd start with less than 500 micrograms, maybe 250, just to gauge your reaction to it. I mean, no matter what the compound is, you want to start at threshold to allergy doses and raise it up from there to assess your own individual potential allergic response. I've made videos about this. So, besides him having an affinity for fake acid, which is wild, I don't really have much to comment. I mean, don't get in cars with people who are drunk and fighting with their girlfriends, obviously. Beyond that, it sounds like you have a fantastic outlook on life. It sounds like, it helped you. I'm not really sure. Like, you didn't really explain how things were different. Like you could have told this story sans being on the psychedelic, and it would have read exactly the same way. Like, you didn't say anything about, the rooms were like swirling, or that they were transforming into demons as they were working on you, or angels, or like, there really wasn't much of a psychedelic component to this story, It's more like, yeah, I happened to take some drugs and then I got stabbed. I thought I was going to die and then I survived. Where's the trip info? Like, for future people submitting their stories, maybe explain more like how being in a trip made this more intense. Because if it was that intense on a trip, you're the kind of person who would have got stabbed and you weren't tripping and just be like, oh, just a flesh wound, and you just walked it off. Like, it seems like it really didn't affect the experience that much at all. I mean, you did say nothing can compare to that feeling in absolute fear, but I imagine if you think you're dying on a psychedelic or not, you're going to be in absolute fear when you see blood pouring out of your leg and you're at the hospital and the nurse is like, I hope so. I hope you're going to be okay. Like, what a bitchy nurse. But yeah, all in all, this was a great story. Thank you for your submission. Let's see what some people have to say. We got the Grim Reapers. Really? The first comment is from Grim Reapers? That's a little too fitting. He says, Christ, dude, I'm glad to hear you're all right. This is truly terrifying, and especially at those moments, psychedelics will expose you to all your weakness. The most important thing to do is remain calm in those moments. But how the fuck are you supposed to even do that? You're a damn warrior, mate. You are, you Russian preacher. Kick ass, man. We got Adventure Monkey. I'm glad you're okay. That's a pretty crazy story. Life is definitely fragile. Glad you had time to reflect and find the gratitude and positive in that experience. Russian preacher says, yeah, thanks, dude. I'm glad too. I think that everyone should be grateful for this life. Hope that suicide rate would be flattened over time. Yeah, let's flatten the curve, baby. No more suicides. We got Zach Fern. Damn, what the f***? Ain't no f***ing around in Russia. I'm very sorry to hear the first part, but I'm more glad that you made it out fine and alive after all. You are a legend. Peace and love to you too, motherfucker. Russian preacher said, that's true. Ain't no f***ing around here. Thanks. Then we got see ya, Gopniks. Yeah, you, Gopniks. What are you doing, you goddamn Gopniks? Stabbing our boy here? He's just trying to get away from a bad situation in the car that could potentially lead to a bad trip or death when he's got a drunk driver almost killing him. And then he's got this dude that actually almost kills him and stabs him in the leg, and he's on fake acid. This was not your night, man. You're in the hospital room almost dying? God, you handled that like a champ. Good on you. Good on you. Anyway, if you enjoyed the story, make sure you leave it with a big thumbs up. If you want me to read your trip report live in a video, head on over to the Psych Substance Reddit, join our Reddit family, and submit your report. And if you get a lot of upvotes, or if I happen to read it and find it interesting, I will feature your video. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you smash that thumbs up button and check out More Plates for Dates, as we've been doing a lot of collaborations lately. You can find my videos on the More Plates for Dates channel, where we did the podcast together. Might go and post that full podcast on my channel. We'll see. But yeah, shout out to Derek. That was a lot of fun, man. I don't know why I'm mentioning that in this video. If you do enjoy my content, check out our Patreon page. It's thanks to you guys that we're able to do this. And if we hit our next goal on Patreon, I'm going to hire more than one editor. We're already in the midst of hiring one, and we're going to pump out one video a day. So if you want to see one video a day, and if you haven't noticed, I've been on a flow roll lately. We've been just pumping these videos out like magic over here. So if you want me to get even more content out, head on over to Patreon, pledge as little as $2, help us hit that goal so we can be at one video a day. That would be freaking dope, bro. And if you haven't already, head on over to the Psych Shop and buy a blanket. Jeez, we're going to have some more products soon, but if you haven't got your own version of the Hooded Trip blanket yet, go pick one of those bad boys up. And it'll be shipped out soon. Anyway, till next time, take care, guys. Love you all. Stay safe and cheers.